Hello everyone, my name is Cristian Neculescu, and you know me for a lot of integration with UiPath. We have the Salesforce ServiceNow connector, Jira, Confluence, and so on. Today we'll talk about JSON. I have an old video about JSON, how to build JSON and how to deserialize JSON and so on. But my friend from UiPath Japan, Quentin Brandon, show me a way how to create JSON in a very nice, easy way inside of VB. So as usual with my videos, I will share all the code here on GitHub. So you have all the examples that I use here basically, and create multiple JSON, and I will give you the VB code. Remember on my past video here on the JSON, I have 4 examples, yeah, and for each examples, I showed you the way how I create this this way in UiPath, this JSON in UiPath. So I'll show you how to create this in VB much faster inside of UiPath. So let's understand what's the idea. So my friend from Japan tell me that look, if you do something like this with JObject, object from create, you can create a JSON in one line. So basically, I have the JSON like this. And you know, when you try to put it as a string, the JSON inside of your UiPath, you have problem with quotation, you have multiple quotation and so on. So here, basically, you need to create this digitally. So basically, if you have JSON object, this will create the JSON object, and then you'll provide some data. You'll provide channel, where you put key, and then you create another object and so on. To be able to simplify this, I did this on UiPath Studio. So I have here a write line, and on this write line, I just create this channel, and I create the title James Newton King. Yeah. So let's see it. Basically, in my demonstration, I will have like this. Let's hit delete, and I have this object and then this object. So this object will be title and Jason Newton. Let's go back here. So I say here new with title keys space dot title and Jason Newton, and then this I will add in a big object that will be key channel with this object, yeah, and then I will have JObject from object to string, and this is my JSON created. So if I run it, you will see that I have a perfect JSON created here, yeah. Now be careful, it's a trick here. You need to have this JObject. To be able to have this JObject, so let me show you what I want to say with this JObject. If I go here and say new sequence, yeah, I want to create a new sequence. You will see that I don't have a new sequence. I don't have the JObject by default. So if I go in write line, so if I go to write line and say JObject, you see he doesn't recognize the JObject by default, yeah. So to be able to do this, we need to insert here and to import Node.js and so on. But if I don't want to put all the data on the head, what you want to import, so the simple way is to be able to use this. You'll go here and say JObject. I mean, you can put it like this, and you declare here a JObject, yeah, JObject. You see, it's Newton Soft JSON link. Okay, when I put this stuff, he imports automatically the library Newton Soft JSON link, yeah. And now the system will recognize my JObject, yeah. So if I want to write this function in VB, first try to add a variable here, and this variable, I think I can delete it. This variable will import me the Newton Soft JSON and Newton Soft JSON link to be able to recognize my code, yeah. So that's the idea how to recognize the code. Perfect. So this is the way how I build my JSON. In my case, remember the JSON normally we use when we create, so we create a JSON object, not necessary to string, and then we provide this object to HTTP request. So here on the HTTP request, we provide the object. We put the object here, or we put this full code here on HTTP request. So here is the object to string. Okay. So this is the way how we use this JSON object. And on a HTTP request, you have to put format as JSON and accept body as JSON. Good. Let's go to our example. Remember that we have these examples on the previous video. So I have this first example, how to create a simple JSON. Then I have a JSON with an object inside with multiple elements. I have a vector with multiple objects. And then I have a vector array of JSON that inside has multiple strings. So let's see how we approach these cases with the new system. Yeah, instead of invoke code and all the stuff that I showed you on the last video. Let's see how will be this new approach. So instead of all the invoke codes and all this stuff, let's see how we approach this very fast, thanks to my friend from Japan. So first one, if I want to create an object like this with a name, ID, car, and so on, I will go to Visual Studio, and on Visual Studio we'll put it like this: JObject.FromObject, new with key name. Look, you have here key name, key ID, key car, yeah, key space, and so on. And then I put a value, BMW 1, Jeff, and so on. So this will create my JSON object. So if I go here on G1, I have this code. And on this code, if I run it here, it's for my test, not, let's say, delete. Okay. So if I run this code, you see that this will provide me exactly that JSON. You see, he create that JSON. So this is the code how to create the simple JSON. Now, I want to create a second JSON. On the second JSON, I have an object which inside has two attributes. So here I will have this stuff. So here, key name, key ID, key car, the same thing that I first on the first object, and then I have key photo, and on the photo I have new width, and I have key height, key width. Yeah, so this is the way how I create the object inside of the JSON object. Okay, so I put again new width. I will go on UiPath Studio. I will show you again the code there, and then we'll run it. You see the code here with this one, and when I run it, you will see that this will create a JSON that we want. You see name, ID, car, BMW, photo with the height and width. Done. Let's go to the third one, the third example. The third example is this one. So basically, I have an array of JSON, yeah, with the name ID, name ID, name ID. Okay, good. So what I will do here to be able to create the array of JSON, I will say new from object with key space that records, that was the name, and then GARRAY from object list. So basically, I create before this comment, I create a list with this object, yeah. And let's understand how we create the list. So here I go and define a list, yeah. This is my list. The list will be JObject, yeah. So the list and will be new JObject. So basically, when I define the, let's say, list 2 here, just for fun to see the definition, yeah, I will select this one, and I say array of. It's not array of, it's list. Wait a minute, my bad. List I will select a list from here, from generic, yeah, and then I select here JObject, okay? Done. And on this list, I have to write like this: new list of JObject. Okay, good. Done. So this is the way how I define the list. Then I have this add collection. If I write here add to collection, so this function add data to collection. So basically on this one, I select the list, which is my list, and then I create the item. So I say that the argument will be a JObject, and here the item is just creating a simple JSON like this one. Remember how we create the first JSON? So this one is the same code. The same code that I used for creating the simple JSON, I use now to create this simple JSON with name and ID. So I say JObject from object, new with key name, key ID, and so on. Okay. So I had the first one, I had the second one, I had the third one, and then on the end here, I create the main object. On the main object, I will say record JARRAY, this one. So if we run it, we will see exactly our JSON with records and the 3 records. Yeah, good. Let's go to the last example. So the last example is this one. It's the same with the records and so on, but inside of the records, we have here cars, which can be multiple values. So let's see how we handle this stuff. So the main logic is the same that on example 3, but let's see how we handle that stuff. So here, when we create the object, so the creation of the array is the same, yeah. But when you create the object, you will put here key, cards, new string. So you create new string, and you put the values of the string. Okay. Let's go to UiPath Studio. Here I have the same logic like the old one, yeah. But here, when we create the object, I put here key, cars, new string, and then I put the list of my string with BMW, Audi, Honda, and so on. On the next one will be VW, Seat, Skoda, and so on, yeah. And in this way, I'm able to create this complex JSON. So let's see it here. And let's see, you have records, you have name, ID, cars, and you have the list of cars, and then you have name, ID, cars, and so on. So basically, in this way, with these simple functions and simple commands from visualbasic.net, you are able to create a very, very nice JSON. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Thanks to Quentin for sharing this information with us. And as usual, if you like my movies, please come to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my movies, comment on my movies, and tell me what else you want to see next on my movies. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. Have a good one. Bye-bye.